It's a pleasure to welcome our chief guest, Mr. Pankaj Kamliya, who is the Chief Operating Officer of the Gujarat State CSR Authority. Then Mr. Parag Desai of the Waghbakri Group. And this event is held under the auspices of the Waghbakri AMA Center of Governance, one of the activity centers of AMA. Mr. Bhushan Punani, who heads the Blind People's Association. And of course, my colleague and Vice President of AMA, Dr. Savan Goriawala. Since time immemorial, like in our civilization, like others, we've had the very strong tradition of one strata of society, usually the stronger one financially or otherwise, helping another strata of society which was more needy. And this happened in several ways, by charity or in an organized fashion, philanthropy, helping through groups. Those groups could be like religious, caste-based, community-based, geographical-based, a town, city. And then, of course, like today, you have the social clubs and all that, companies doing this. But this has been going on. And formally, over the period of time in India for the business sector, it was the government that actually brought the CSR law. Of course, we will be talking about that, but that just came in, I think, about 2013. But yes, again, as you all know, there are rich traditions in India where business houses, the business owners and great companies like Tata, they had the word CSR even before it was mandated. Even in the pre-independence era, they did a good amount of welfare work, not only for their staff, but the surrounding communities. So anyway, this will be discussed by the distinguished speakers. Besides this, we will have other speakers, as you mentioned in the schedule, so I'll not waste your time. And I'm sure it will be a great takeaway. And to take the proceedings further, I request my friend Dr. Savan Goriawala to carry on the proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you, Divyesh bhai. Good morning, friends. Shri Pankaj bhai, Parag bhai, Bhushan bhai, Dangayat sir, Padmin bhai, Neeraj, and friends. Good morning. Winter, as we can see the winter setting in, and happy to see so many registrations and the relevant people over here. As Divyesh bhai mentioned, we did a similar conference, and again, thanks to Dangayat sir who had curated that conference just pre-COVID. And we could see a lot of value that people could take home. And that's the purpose of today's conference also. That especially people know there is a CSR, there is a law, and first time that India was the country when the Companies Act 2013 was enacted, Section 135, that it was a mandatory law. And of course, a lot of countries had voluntary and then recommendatory kind of. But the purpose was that there is a law, a lot of people are obligated to do that. There's implementing agencies also who do that, is the NGOs generally. But important to know the context that there is a requirement and then fulfillment and the compliances. So the purpose is what the corporates typically look into, ensure that they are within the law, as well as the purpose. There's a motive. This is not just the mandate, but there's a motive behind it. Like if I look at Parag bhai or Waghbakri, this came in the 1st of April 2014, but they have been doing this as a CSR for whole life, that at least I am seeing for 31 years that I am in the profession. So one is a motive, then which converted into a mandate. But so the understanding is that ultimately there's an impact that is supposed to be there. At the same time, you have to be within the bylaws and the law. When I said implementing agency and the NGOs, that also the statistics are about 46% of the total CSR funds are implemented through the NGOs, to the implementing. 32, 9, 46, there are some, but only 30% is done directly. Quite a bit of corporates have their own foundations where they do it through their foundation, but almost half of the total funds of 25,000 crores of rupees in 2021, which were channelized through implementing agency. Now, implementing agency, that's the NGOs generally who would actually ensure that the funds are used for the purpose that the CSR committee has approved or the board of directors have approved, are converted into the utilization and ultimately the impact assessment. So there is an obligation also on the implementing agency, which is the purpose of this conference, that what typically a blind people's association would do when they get the CSR funds, and how do they ensure that the CSR, the donor also or the contributor also ensures the compliance as well as they give an impact also. So that would be something which would be a big takeaway today. The flow of the event that today that we have, thanks that we have the Gujarat CSR Authority CEO with us, Pankaj ji, and thanks Mr. Pankaj Kamliya for being with us. I'll just introduce you. Pankaj bhai is a Chief Operating Officer of Gujarat CSR Authority, and since its inception, the GCSR Authority has envisioned not only in acting as a means of social development, but also as a replicable model that can be adopted and improved across the state, benefiting thousands of people. So there's a very clear initiative by the Gujarat government and the authority wherein Pankaj ji had. So we will have a perspective. So in the flow of events, he is going to set the table as his chief guest speech. We have Parag bhai with us. Parag bhai, as I said, they are corporates in the CSR. He is the executive director, Wagh Bakri Tea Group, which is known to one and all. And he did his MBA from the Long Island University, the US. He spearheaded sales, marketing and export department of the group, the Wagh Bakri Group, and he is an expert tea taster. And tea tasters are very significant people in the industry of tea. There were very few in the whole country that I would say as expert tea tasters. So thanks Parag bhai, and I'll do the honors of the floral welcome together. And we have then Bhushan bhai Punani. Bhushan bhai Punani is the chairperson West Asia at International Council of Education of Children with Visual Impairment. Everybody knows him. He is the Blind People's Association man, and he is taken it to where it is and the effect or impact that it is making. He serves as executive secretary at Blind People Association, which has emerged as one of the leading disability development NGOs in the country, promotes comprehensive services for persons with all categories of disabilities. And certainly we must look at the work that BPA has been doing. He is also director on some companies including the Wagh Bakri. So may I request Divyesh bhai, our president, to please offer a welcome to Pankaj. Divyesh bhai, Parag bhai. Yes, Parag bhai rightly mentioned, he is our own AMA Nath. He is also on the executive board of the AMA. So without spending more time on this, may I request Pankaj ji please to deliver your speech. Thanks.
Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to convey sincere thanks from Gujarat CSR Authority to Ahmedabad Management Association for arranging this sort of communication and dialogue between the stakeholder group and companies and government. And from GCSR, we convey thanks to give us this platform to interact. And I must also congratulate Mr. Desai from Wagh Bakri Group, Radia Saab and Mr. Godiwala to be on panel with me today, and probably will start the day with sort of setting a tone for the whole day, that what we'll be discussing whole day. And certainly CSR has become a talk of the town during COVID times, before COVID times also, when the rules were pretty amended. Various changes have been introduced by Government of India, and companies were a bit worried that how we'll be coping up with these new changes. how we'll be coming up with this emerging this thing trends wherein we are facing even planning the projects, कैसे projects को plan किया जाए, how we document the success, how we measure the outcomes. So all those were challenges were faced by the companies, and I'm very happy to say that during COVID times, CSR has played immense role. Like very active role was played by the companies based in Gujarat. Across country, we have seen various new development innovations have been done. Companies have come up with solutions in COVID, जहाँ पे हम सोच नहीं पा रहे थे कि ये इस तरह के कोई solutions company बना सकती है. And CSR they have come up with such solutions. So कोविड टाइम्स कंपनीज हैव प्लेड वेरी पाइवट रोल. और हम अगर पूरा ट्रेंड देखा जाए, इफ़ यू सी द होल ट्रेंड ऑफ द डेटा व्हेन वी स्टार्टेड इन 2014-15, द ओवरऑल नेशनल कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन वाज अराउंड 14,000 करोड़ एंड वी वर कॉन्ट्रीब्यूटिंग एज गुजरात अराउंड 800 करोड़. So now in 2021 we stands at 1445 CR as Gujarat and nationally is 25,000 plus. So undoubtedly the graph is increasing, but where we are contributing, that is thanks to now before the people who are managing CSR, the challenges lies like what projects we are planning, where we are going in right direction, we are measuring our success, we are documenting the success, we are sharing our success with other people are getting motivated to do similar type of activities in their geography. So these are the challenges like now we are seeing in the professional community, they are talking on these topics, and it's very important. When we started Gujarat CSR Authority in 2014-15, we were trying to make aware the professional community, this is the CSR rules, this way you can plan your projects, you have to see where your money is going, you have to see you are investing your rupee, the hard-earned money in CSR, then you must see that what outcomes you are making. But nowadays I'm seeing young people who are joining CSR, they are raising this question that if I'm investing 10 lakh rupees in this project, what will I get out of implementing this project post a period of 1 or 2 years. So this is very very happening developments in CSR. Nationally, the committees are every day they are reviewing the CSR ATG, 12AB, CSR1. This new changes has been introduced in 21 CSR amendment. Impact assessment of more than 1 crore investment is mandatory by law. Various new changes have been introduced. I'm sure in a detailed presentation in post this inaugural session, the things will be discussed in a more detailed manner. But in being in Gujarat and talking on this platform, I would like to share some successes made by Gujarat CSR Authority. As Gujarat, we are always a front runner in showing the other state of the country that what we are doing in Gujarat is a pilot and replicable model. So post Gujarat CSR Authority in 2015, we started. Government of Goa has invited us. They set up their CSR Authority. Just a few minutes ago, Mr. Rathia was asking that have some other states adopted this model. So Gujarat CSR Authority model has been successfully adopted by Goa, Haryana, Punjab. The same model of Gujarat CSR Authority has been replicated there. Rajasthan is also on the line. And being in a state body at state level who is taking onus of being in a CSR owner is very important, because we are getting requests from multiple companies at the local level since 2-3 years back that we are implementing a project at the local level, we are not getting proper support, we need some support. So then we identify and locate where they are having difficulties. If they have local communication and coordination related issue, we try to resolve them. Plus, we try implementing multiple projects on thematic areas like women development, women empowerment related issues, child development, education, sanitation, multiple domains. We implemented almost 120 plus projects in various domains. We have our dedicated website, YouTube channel. I request all of you who are present here must look at the YouTube channel of GCSR, wherein we have uploaded 2-3 minute short videos that what we have done in that project and what are the success model. So if you would like to plan that similar projects in your geography, it will give you a punch that yes, I can plan this way, this manner. So the challenges we have documented more efficiently, because in any of the project, if you planning it fresh, then the challenges are more important. That what sort of challenges you will face on your way to getting towards success. So these are the few things I would like to mention. And I must say that this sort of dialogues are very important for CSR fraternity, because when we work in the field, everyday challenges are there before us. We have multiple questions, and this sort of platforms give us the chance to communicate with each other. So this sort of platforms are very important and plays very pivotal role when we plan and we go towards our planning our projects. सो ये कुछ जो बातें थी आपसे मैं करना चाह रहा था, एंड इन्हीं बातों के साथ मैं ये बोलना चाहता हूँ आपको कि व्हेन वी प्लान अवर नेक्स्ट ईयर्स प्रोजेक्ट, वी मस्ट सी दैट व्हाट सॉर्ट ऑफ प्रायोरिटीज वी हैव इन अवर माइंड. A very important role of board, particularly you are probably from the execution side or probably some board member sitting here on the dais, but the very crucial role is of the board is to identify the project, to plan the project, to identify a good implementing agency, to measure their success, and to document that success or the failure as well. I'll always not say the successes need to be documented, but the failures are also required to be documented, because that failure will certainly help the future planners. उसी दिशा में जो दूसरे लोग आगे बढ़ने वाले हैं उनको कुछ जानने मिलेगा आपकी फेलियर्स से. सो दैट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, एंड आई थैंक यू ऑल ऑफ यू टू जॉइन दिस डे टुडे विथ AMA, एंड थैंक यू सो मच.